Hello and welcome to the first of 217 videos in this new series. Well, at least that's the plan. I might not get to 217. You might write to me in droves saying, please stop, these videos are awful, we hate them, in which case perhaps I'll just view it as a worthy experiment but a failed one and I'll stop. But that's the plan, 217 videos, each of them answering one question from this book. Now these videos are in addition to all the other stuff I'll be doing, not instead of. I intend to keep them simple, and some of them, it's possible, will be short, although knowing me, not very many. Now what is this book and what is this series all about? Well, I'm going to label it clearly in the titles and in the thumbnails so that you'll know that it's one of these series, and if you don't like these videos you can always skip it out. This video, The Book of Questions, by Gregory Stockford. He wrote this book, according to this sticker on the front, it was a New York Times bestseller in the mid-80s, and you really can tell it was written in the 80s. And he wrote it in America, and you really can tell it was written in America. I think I may have to translate some of these questions for a wider audience. I found this book in the changing room of a sauna. I was on holiday in Sweden for 2.5 weeks at a dance camp, and we would start dancing at about 10 in the evening and dance through to typically 8 o'clock in the morning, and then a group of us would go for a shower and then a sauna and a shower and then a sauna, then a shower and a sauna and another shower, and then back to the changing rooms. And in the corner of said changing rooms was this book slowly curling up in the steam, and I would pick a few questions out from it and read them out, and it would start a good conversation, and it was quite interesting. But it wasn't my book, so I would leave it so that whoever's it was could come and retrieve it. And after 2.5 weeks, no one did retrieve it, so now it's mine. Okay, so they are questions. They're not military history questions. They are more philosophical what-if questions, and they really cut to the quick. They deal with all the big topics, you know, money, sex, death, values, ethics, and so forth. Now, it would be very tempting. It'd be very tempting to cherry pick, to look at, oh, no, that one's a bit personal, and I don't have very much to say about that one, and oh, no, that's too big a question. I'd be talking for ages about that one, and no, I don't think that one, and oh, maybe this one. That would be an act of cowardice, you see, because it's the questions which one would avoid normally, which are the most challenging and difficult questions, which therefore, if I'm not to be a coward, shouldn't be avoided. So I intend to do all 217 questions plus the backup questions in order, starting with the first one. So brace yourself, here is the first question. For a person you loved deeply, would you be willing to move to a distant country, knowing there would be little chance of seeing your friends or family again? Yes. I think I can answer this one pretty quickly with a yes. Obviously, I'm going to expand on that. It says here, for a person you loved deeply. Loved deeply. Surely, that's the most important thing. If you love someone deeply, that they become your top priority. And yes, if they are your top priority, you're going to be willing to do all sorts of things, and moving to another place isn't such a big thing to ask. I mean, plenty of people do this all the time, all around the world, I'm completely sure. And as for the distant country, I don't see that that's really so important. I mean, once you're in another country, you are away from the previous world you knew. If I move to Sweden, that's too far away to see my friends and family in Britain. If I move to Bali, that's an awful lot further, but it's still, too far to see my friends and family. I could, of course, move further again. I could go to New Zealand, and actually culturally that would be a smaller move. So the distance of the country I don't see as particularly important. It's just another place. I'm leaving my friends and family. I think perhaps that's the crux of the question. You could say that what this question is really saying is, how important to you are your friends and family? Well, personally, I don't actually see my family all that often anyway, and there aren't very many of them. And as for friends, well, friends are, one could say, a temporary convenience, because people will make friends wherever they go. I have my wargaming friends, for instance, up here, and my board gaming friends, and my roleplay gaming friends, and my HEMA friends, and my dancing friends. And if I went somewhere else, I would presumably dance there and very quickly have another circle of people to socialise with there. So I'm terribly sorry to all my friends here. There's no criticism of you at all. You're all wonderful people in your way, but friends are replaceable in ways that people that you love deeply are not replaceable. and wherever I go in the world, family will still be family. So yes, for someone I love deeply, I would be willing to move to a distant country. I mean, it'd be a wrench, of course, because I'm British. And, I would think that possibly this other person, one imagines it would be a woman, would, possibly at least contemplate coming to Britain because, you know what? It's Britain. But if, it says here, knowing that there will be little chance. How would you ever know that? You wouldn't actually know that. And notice that there is a bit of wiggle room in this question because it says there would be little chance. It doesn't say no chance, little chance of ever seeing your friends or family again. So, if it does go wrong, I could come back. And today we have this thing called Facebook. Now, when I was an undergraduate, there wasn't Facebook. And after I graduated, I lost touch with a lot of people I was at university with and would frankly prefer still to be in contact with. But students today are all on Facebook and they are not going to be losing touch with each other, which I think is going to make quite a big difference to the way society works in future, that people don't lose touch in ways that they used to. So all I've got to do is remember my Facebook password, and if things do go wrong in Bali or wherever it is, I can come back and start my life anew. Type in the password, assuming that I haven't forgotten it. I could get it tattooed on me somewhere perhaps, so I didn't. And then ping, there would be all my friends ready to pick up. And you know what? I don't find it embarrassing to talk to someone I haven't spoken to for ages. If I bump into someone I haven't seen for years and we got on famously back then, I'm not embarrassed to say, hey, why don't we do a thing? Because why can't you just pick up where you left off? I mean, if you knew someone years ago and you got on like a house on fire, they're probably still fundamentally the same person. And so why should you not get on well now? Anyway, in summary, yes,